All right, listen up, because this story isn't just creepy. It's absolutely wild, and it's 100% real. Imagine you find the perfect apartment. Great location, stunning renovation, and the price? Unbelievably good. Too good, almost. That's exactly what happened to Sarah and Mark. And trust me, they paid a much higher price than just rent. 6 years ago, in that very apartment, a terrible fire broke out. An accident, they said. A young couple, full of dreams, tragically lost their lives. The apartment was gutted, a burnt-out shell, and sat empty for years. Nobody wanted it. Until a developer came along, saw the potential, poured a fortune into renovating it, making it look brand new, erasing all traces of the tragedy. Or so they thought. Sarah and Mark, excited young professionals, snapped it up. They knew about the fire, but figured it was just history. Out with the old, in with the new, Mark had joked, completely oblivious to the terror that awaited them. The first few weeks were amazing. Shiny new kitchen, sparkling bathrooms, city views. But then the glitches started. Small things at first. Lights flickering even when all wiring was checked. The shower turning on by itself, running cold, even when no one was home. Sarah swore she could smell faint smoke sometimes, a faint, acrid scent that quickly disappeared. They brushed it off as old building quirks. Then things escalated. One night, Mark was working late in his home office, which used to be the master bedroom. He heard a distinct, agonizing cough right beside him. He spun around, but no one was there. He even called out Sarah's name, thinking she was messing with him, but she was fast asleep. The cough came again, closer, almost a gasp. Mark felt a cold sweat prickle his skin. He fled the room, heart pounding. A few nights later, Sarah woke up to a chilling sight. Mark was asleep beside her, but at the foot of their bed, a faint, translucent silhouette of a woman stood, just staring at them. Her features were blurred, but she could feel an immense sadness radiating from her. As Sarah gasped, the figure slowly raised her hand, pointing a spectral finger towards the ceiling where a scorch mark used to be before the renovation. Sarah screamed, waking Mark, but by then, the figure was gone. They tried to rationalize it. Stress, fatigue, vivid dreams. But the fear was real. They even thought about getting a priest, but felt too embarrassed. The paranormal activity intensified. Objects would move, doors would slam, and the temperature in the apartment would drop drastically even in the middle of summer. One evening, they were watching TV when the screen suddenly went black. The lights flickered wildly. Then a low, guttural moan filled the apartment, coming from everywhere and nowhere at once. And that faint smell of smoke? It was overwhelming now, burning their nostrils. Mark, trying to be brave, grabbed his phone flashlight. As he shone it around the living room, a terrifying vision appeared. The furniture they had bought was gone, replaced with burnt, charred remains. The walls were blackened, soot-stained, just as they would have been after a fire. And floating in the center of the room, two shadowy figures, tangled together, reaching out, their faces contorted in silent agony. One of them pointed directly at Mark. That was it. Mark felt a crushing pain in his chest. His breath caught. A mini heart attack right there. He gasped for air, clutching his chest, collapsing onto the ghostly charred floor. Sarah, screaming in terror, helped him up, adrenaline coursing through her veins. The ghostly scene flickered and vanished, replaced by their normal, pristine living room, but the smell of smoke lingered. They didn't pack, They didn't think. They just grabbed their keys and ran. It was past midnight, pouring rain outside, but they didn't care. They fled that apartment, down the stairs, out of the building, and ended up spending the entire night huddled on a bench in the Society Park, soaked, freezing, but alive. They never went back inside that apartment. They just left everything behind. The next day, they called the landlord, explaining everything, even the mini heart attack. The landlord, of course, scoffed. "Superstition," he said. But Sarah and Mark were done. They broke their lease, lost their deposit, and moved into a much smaller, more expensive, but blessedly normal apartment. So, next time you see a deal too good to be true, especially for a newly renovated place with a history, maybe just ask yourself, what kind of history are you really moving into? Because some secrets, even fire can't destroy. And some apartments, they're not just homes, they're eternal resting places. This isn't just a story, folks. It's a terrifying reminder that some things are better left undisturbed. And trust me, you do not want to be the next tenant in that apartment.